there was a report on the local planning commission. What's going on in the county? Of course, they were talking about the 23% of the land that's now in conservation easements locked away. But they also were angry because they had put a UDB over here. This is where development is supposed to take place, over here. And darn, these property owners keep trying to live somewhere else. That's their attitude. And what happens? Property values then plummet outside the UDB. Who would buy land where modern conveniences such as power and road maintenance will not be permitted? Why do they attack farmers like Martha? If I was to read all the literature from the Piedmont Environmental Council, I would say Martha should be the centerfold. Martha should be their poster child of everything they say they're for. Organic farming. She's got 150 or more rescued animals. She's incredibly creative in using things right there on the farm. Her emu has these weird little feathers on. I got some at home. She makes jewelry out of them. She uses things in a creative way. She put together this little thing. It was like a birdhouse. It has these little slots in it. And she put wool in it that dropped from her sheep. They were on the ground. She put it in there. She was selling these to put it out in your yard so birds could come in and take the fiber out of there and go build their nests. How natural is that? The Piedmont Environmental Council said, violation, violation, violation. Of what? It's intimidation. It's tyranny is what it is. But again, picture the smart growth city, and we've got outside of that no human beings whatsoever allowed in it. You've seen the map. This map, my friend Dr. Michael Kaufman. All the red is no human activity. The yellow is buffer zones that are earmarked to have no human activity. And we get mega cities on the coast, maybe Chicago in the middle. So that's what happens to that area out there. No human activity. So, why are they going after the farmers? They have in mind is what they call a CSA. Now, we here in Virginia used to have a different interpretation for the CSA. This stands for Community Supported Farm. If you look, the circle, and there's a little strip of land here, a little strip of land there. That is a CSA. What's a CSA? This is a definition from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In basic terms, CSA consists of a community of individuals who pledge support to a farm operation so that the farmland becomes either legally or spiritually. The community's farm. Spiritually, it's ours. We can all go out and play in it. With the growers and the consumers providing mutual support and sharing the risks and benefits of food production. They clearly mean for each community to grow all the food it will need instead of importing food. Those trucks out on the highway cause pollution. We've got to stop that. The question I have is, do you like bananas? Kiss them goodbye if you can't grow them in your town. It means cities will either have to drastically reduce their populations or starve. But evil sprawl will be contained for the Wildlands Project. Of course, comprehensive development plans are the tool of choice in nearly every city in the nation to produce the proper smart growth community. And the third way of sustainable development inside cities and towns, government is steadily coming under the control of groups called stakeholder councils. These are mostly non-governmental organizations or NGOs, basically the same groups which helped write Agenda 21. And this is a specific process being used to bring Agenda 21 into the local level. And they will argue that it is all locally driven. The function of legitimate elected government, the people you put in office to protect you, to serve you, to listen to you, within the sustainable system is fast becoming little more than a rubber stamp to create and enforce the dictates of these non-elected, self-proclaimed stakeholder councils. And they're not you're the stakeholders. They are not stakeholders. These are organizations. Some of these people most of them don't even live in your community. At least they didn't until they moved in to become a self-proclaimed stakeholder. Stakeholders, you will see article after article. You will see documents coming out of the federal government that are talking about working with local elected officials and the stakeholders. Sometimes they throw in Indian tribes. The stakeholders. Who are these people? I'll show you for a second. They dictate the kind of building materials you may use in your home, or whether you can build on that property at all. They decide if roads are to be built, how much water can be used, how neighborhoods are to be built. This is where the real change in the American system of government is taking place. This is a process we are most objecting to. This is the top-down control through a centrally planned economy. The bottom line is that the conservation and development policies that are pouring out of every level of government are not originally coming from local, state, or national ideas that find their roots very clearly outlined in Agenda 21. I keep saying that. I will say it tonight probably as many times as I have articles in my files written that say that's not true. I'm just trying to keep the even playing field here. These policies are sold as just local ideas, are actually a weapon used against you and your community to bring it in line for the global village. And it is equally clear that an army of NGOs teamed with the very significant federal agencies and local officials are working hand in hand to impose what was first introduced to the world in Rio in 1982. Those enforcing this policy, armed with a basic disregard for private property, reason, or honor, seem to stop at nothing to achieve their goal of top-down control of government and everything connected to your daily lives. You need to understand such a mindset and the policies behind it to further understand what drives federal and state agents who come into your community to enforce it. It is a complete control and agenda. This is why there is bear and wolf reintroduction to make rural areas uninhabitable. It's why the Endangered Species Act is being used to shut down whole industries and make it impossible to earn a living, so people have to migrate to the cities. It's why people are locked up for trying to develop their own land. It's why such radical changes are taking place in our children's public schools to invoke the curriculum that indoctrinates them to accept such a society. And it's why there's such a vicious attack launched against anyone who tries to question these policies. We are in the middle of a revolution to change the very core of our nation. A revolution to literally replace everything we have ever known, loved, or supported with a radical, intrusive, alien force that will bring us shortages, high costs, pain, and misery. You are feeling the effects. You are frustrated. You are hurting. The question is, what do we do about it? Now, I know that I've just given you the IMAX version of this threat, and it's overwhelming. And you're thinking, what can I do? I'm one person. What can I do? How can you possibly make a difference? The answer, down from the IMAX, focus. Let me show you what I mean. I need 5 volunteers. These are non-speaking parts. I want to tell you, I tried doing this in Wyoming and I couldn't get those cowboys to move. I swear.